To our field reporter Tim, who's covering reports of an asteroid set to hit the area sometime.
Thank you so much. I guess I've been on what, 30 minutes and y'all can hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay, I'm gonna start over. Good morning. This is Deborah Smith with Build Your Best Life. And I believe in it's better to train early rather than to fix later. I apologize. Nobody gave me a thumbs up or anything to say you couldn't hear me. I just got the um, note that to check my volume, and I was actually on mute. So I do apologize. So good morning to Gianna, Peggy, Orzi, Dan. Thank you so much for tuning in. This month, my theme is life is like football, because there's a correlation between football and the things that go on in football and the things that people have to do in order to be successful in football. But those same attributes correlate with things that we have in life that we need to deal with. And so that is very, very important. So this morning, I have been talking over 30 minutes about is sacrifice now for success later. Sacrifice now for success later. Okay. And, sometimes when we think about sacrifice, what is it that I'm giving up? What do I need to give up? Well, you may have to let some friends go. You may need to change some of your habits. You may have to spend less now and save more later. But your success will be well worth the sacrifice. And as I stated earlier, football and life, they have so many correlations when we think about it. In both, you have to have accountability, dependability. You have to give up things. You have some teamwork in there. But what I'm talking about today is that sacrifice. What are some of those things that you have to sacrifice? And one of the things our football players have to sacrifice is their time. And it comes in different forms. But one of those is their curfew time. So, most of our players, well, I won't say most, but let's just say about maybe 1/3 to half of the players are very, very young. Some of them don't even complete college before they go to play pro football. So they're young. They want to do what young people do. They want to hang out and want to be with friends, with the ladies, and all of these things. But if they're on a pro football team, they have curfews. And that is a sacrifice that they have to make, because those curfews are there for a reason. Believe it or not, just because someone is in their 20s, that doesn't mean that they need less sleep. They need to get an adequate amount of rest as well. Also, they have a lot riding on them. The owners are counting on them, the coaches are counting on them, and their teammates are counting on them. So if they stay out, if they have a game on Sunday or Saturday, they stay out to 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. They're drinking alcoholic beverages and doing other things. Are they going to be 110 game time? Probably not. If they don't get their rest during the week and get those practices in, are they going to be ready? Probably not. So that is the reason why they have these curfews, and they can get fined for missing these curfews. So it's very important, but it's a sacrifice that they have to make now in order to have success later. And another one that they have is, they have to sacrifice their time to be at practice. They may want to do something else. Many of them are not in the same space as their families. So they could want to, I'm going to skip practice Monday, just hang out with my girl a little later. And you can do it, but you're going to get fined. You may not be able to play in the game, and you can risk the chance of losing your position on the team. So that sacrifice is for a reason. It is for your success later. Risky behaviors. All the pro players have something in their contracts, that stipulates that they will not enter into risky behaviors. Some behavior that may cause them to lose their life, their limbs, or injure them in a way that they are not able to play for any length of time, which would be a negative impact on the team. So they're probably not supposed to do things like skydive, I wouldn't say surfing, but like skydiving, maybe. Trying to think of some other things that they probably shouldn't be doing. I don't know. It's just anything that's really, really dangerous, And I'm a Pittsburgh fan, Steelers fan, and I know Ben, some years back, was injured. He was on a motorcycle. Now, whether that was considered a risky behavior, whether he was supposed to be on there or not, that could have went a whole different direction. He could have injured his throwing arm. He could have been permanently disabled. He could have lost his life or whatever. So if he was not able to devote his time as their quarterback, the number one quarterback, then he's causing his team members, the owners, and everyone else, he's letting them down, and he has sacrificed himself, but in the wrong direction. Then I mentioned earlier, most of our players are in different states, so they don't necessarily get to play in the state that they live in. So it's a state that they get drafted into or traded into. So they have to spend time away from their families. They may miss the birth of a baby or any number of things, but it is well worth it when you think about, they have a craft. Football is their niche. They're working on that, and they're trying to be the best that they can be, to be a success, to get in that record book, to have those records or whatever. So that's a sacrifice that they're making now for success later. And then the hanging out. They want to hang out with the guys and the girls and do things or whatever. You have time for that during the off season. But during football season, you have some strict rules. You have to abide by those rules. And that is the cost of being a pro athlete. That's what you are getting paid to do. So that's a sacrifice that you have to make now, but for success later. All right. But then when we get into us ordinary Joes, there are many things that we have to do or sacrifice, Jean, in order to have success later. One of those things I mentioned was, say you are renting and you decide, hey, I think I want to buy a house. But previous to this, you have been, every weekend, you're either traveling to Jamaica, New York, enough of you pick up your bag and say, hey, I'm out of here for the weekend. I'm gone. Going out to eat every weekend or every other night, or doing different things with your friends. But if you decide that you want a house, you want to purchase a home, Then, of course, I hope you've done the due diligence. And so you scoped out the prices of homes in the area that you would prefer to live. You know some of the costs, what it's going to cost you. So what do you have to do? You may have to begin to save some money. And then saving that money, then you may not be able to go out every weekend or take these trips when you want to or whatever. And you have to watch your money, get on a budget, and save. You're saving, you're making a sacrifice. You're not doing those things that you really want to do. Your friends may not understand it, but they're not what's important right now. It's you want to purchase your own home. You want to have a home. You're tired of paying rent to someone else. So you make the sacrifice to make that happen. So that sacrifice for however many months or years it takes you to save what you need to save, because you might decide, hey, I don't want to finance furniture or anything. I want to be able to purchase the furniture that I want in my house. So you know what you have to save. So that sacrifice that you are making for however long it takes is going to be worth the success of having your own home furnished the way you want it. If you decide you want to purchase your home and you're going to furnish it one room at a time, it's whatever you want to do. But you make those sacrifices now for success later. Have children. Children are a gift from God. They are important. They are our responsibility. We shouldn't, as parents, then say, oh, you know what? I got this bucket list and I got to make sure that I do all these things before I get 40, before I get 50. I got to do all these things. I got to visit all these different places. I got to do this. I got to do that. And put on the brakes. No. You may have started on that bucket list before you had those children. And now those children should be your priority. It's okay, you say, well, I can still do what I was doing before. They have grandparents, they have uncles and aunties. My kids have friends. Their parents don't mind if they come over. That is not the point. That is not the way to properly raise our children. Again, they belong to us, so we need to be there to give them that quality time. And believe it or not, just buying them things all the time, buying them brand name clothes, that is not saying I love you. You need to be there with them, for them, when they need you. They will remember years from now, oh, my mom was always there when I was at a recital. My dad was at all my games. My dad helped me with my homework every night. My mom and dad went to every event I had. They went to my PTO meetings, my school meetings, my school events. When I went to my recitals, they were always there. I appreciate my parents. They remember those things. And then if you are not in your children's space all the time, you're always jumping up, leaving, running, going here and there, would you be able to pick up quickly if something is going awry with them? Do they look a different way? Are they answering you a different way? Do you need to sit down and talk to them to see what's going on and really, really listen? And truly listening is more than listening to the words they're saying, how they're saying those words, what they're not saying, what their eyes are saying, their emotions are saying. Well, that is your why. They should be your why. You have to sacrifice what you want to do to be with them and give them their quality time now while they are children. They're not promised to us, from now on to eternity. Every day that we're here and they're here is a gift. So we need to be there for them, whatever sacrifices we have to make every day to be there with them. I'm not saying this, you can never go anywhere, do what you want to do. But your number one priority should be those children. And believe it, they will remember. So you sacrifice now for them. Then so you've done some of your bucket list stuff before, you had your children, now you focus on them. When they go away to college or married or on their own, they are of an age when they are responsible enough to be on their own, then you continue with your bucket list. But for right now, your children should be your priority. So you sacrifice those things now for success later. And remember, one of my mottos is, I believe it is better to train early rather than to fix later. So if you're not sacrificing time to be with them, to be there for them, to listen to them, to talk with them, to help them with their homework, what's it going to be like in 5 years, 10 years, 12 years? Are they going to listen to you? Are they just going to be off the chain? You don't know what's going on. You have to think about those type things. It's important. The other thing that I was talking about is your jobs. Sometimes you have to sacrifice things in the workplace. It may be a job and it's just that it's a job, but it's helping you to pay your bills, do what you need to do, keep you afloat. You may be going to school or doing something, taking classes or workshops or whatever to hone your skills to get where you want to be for the job that has passion for you. But you're on that job now, so you can't I can't say you can't. You should not just, something, when you walk in one day and something is not to your liking, you just, I'm out of here. I don't have to take this. I'm gone. Or if you just walk out, where are you going to get income from? It's not just like you can just walk off one job and walk on another. You might be the brightest one in the bunch, but that doesn't guarantee that you're going to be able to just walk out of one job and get another one just like that. So sometimes you have to make sacrifices, and that's very, very key. So you have to think about that when you do, your superior asks you to do something, well, you don't want to do it. You got so much to say. They warn you about coming in late or something, and you just continue to do what you want to do. You have to think about, okay, but what's my why? I'm not just working to work. I have a child I'm trying to take care of. I have a home. I have responsibilities. So you don't just jump up. Sometimes you have to sacrifice what you don't like about a person or a situation until something better comes along that will be successful for you. And it can be a job that you really, really like. And still things can go wrong. And it's like, oh my goodness, I got to get out of here. An example I was giving was before I retired, I loved my job. I had been doing it for a long time. When I retired, I had been working for the same company for 41 years. Of those 41 years, I was in the same department for all but a year and a half. So I liked what I was doing. I was happy there. But then things began to change above me, and we got a new boss. And oh my goodness, I had one peer, and we were both getting the same thing. It wasn't like I was being attacked and she wasn't. We just felt like, oh my goodness, we're not wanted, we're not appreciated. Enough of this. And so we talked about leaving. She went to talk to her finance person. I went to talk to my CPA. My CPA said, yes, I could retire. I would be okay. Hers told her she could. She was out of there. She left. I thought about it, and I was like, So I'll be okay. But then I thought, I'll be okay, but am I going to add more weight on my spouse? You know, and then so I had to think about that because I didn't want to add any more on him just because, it was okay for me to retire. And then I looked on my desk and looked at that picture. There was my youngest son who was in college. And I was like, no. When he finishes college, he's not going to have all the student loans. He's going to get through college. That's my why. I'm not going anywhere. It's not like I have to be with him, my boss, 24/7. Sit next to me. We don't interact every day. I'm going to continue what I was doing. I like what I do. I'm going to continue to do a good job. I'm going to continue to show up, be dependable. And I just have to deal with him. When I have to deal with him, it's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make. To make a long story short, he did a not a 360, he did a 190. And he changed. He saw my worth. He saw what type employee I was. He apologized essentially, not in so many words, but you don't ever let anybody talk to you like that. You know what you can do, and blah, blah, blah. So I was glad I stayed. I ended up getting 2 promotions, additional benefits, and retired. When I retired, I got this wonderful package. I retired at the right time. So it all worked out, but I made a sacrifice. I made a huge sacrifice for what was important or essential to me at that time, but it was successful later on. And so those are the things that we have to do. So make sure that as you're going through life and you are making decisions, that you think about, what is it that I'm doing? Am I doing it at the right time? Have I sought my counsel up above? Is it the best thing to do? Is the right time to do it? And do I need to make some adjustments, make some sacrifices for success down the road? So again, football and life has so much in common. They make sacrifices during the time that they're playing ball and in their seasons or whatever. And as members of society, we have to make sacrifices as well. Apologize for the glitch earlier. I hope that this segment helped you. Please join me on Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as Latricia Johnson joins me as a special guest for my parent chat. That's 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to be talking about control. So please join us. And as always, please like and share my videos. If this is the first time you've been on, please like my page. Turn on your notifications so you will know whenever I'm on live. Please visit my website. Excuse me. It's on the screen, www.buildyourbestlife.org. You can find out more about my website, read my blogs. I release a new blog every Monday. You can see my calendar of events. You can visit my web store to see the services that I offer, which is coaching, consultations, speaking, and webinar speaking. You can also get an autographed copy of my book, Build Your Best Life. Excuse me. You can get it quickly. I have the books in stock. It is a book that will benefit you and help you. It helps parents, grandparents, mentors, teachers, all educators, mentors, leaders, our young people, anyone that wants to build their best life or assist someone else in building their best life. It is very beneficial. So please visit my website. And again, thank you for tuning in today. And again, I apologize for the glitch. And remember, as you travel on your road to building a better life, there will be distractions, pitfalls, detours, and rough terrain. Don't let any of these negative aspects of your journey stop you. Though they may slow you down, keep going to be a better you so that you can build your best life. And remember, building your best life is our business. That's not a slogan, it's our commitment. Thank you, love you. Thank you for tuning in. Be safe out there. If you're traveling, be safe. You're staying home, be safe. COVID numbers are still up. It's a holiday weekend. Just enjoy and be safe. Love you and hope to see you on Tuesday. Bye-bye.